Hey, this podcast episode, Disruption Nation, is brought to you by Matt Riehs, Vertical Integration Realty. Check it out, and if you get something out of it, hit the like, subscribe, share button. We appreciate you appreciating us. Thanks. Welcome back. I'm your host, Taylor Waithofer. Another episode of Disruption Nation. This is a show podcast platform where we highlight people that are disrupting their space in a positive way, doing big things in the community and the market. You know, for business owners, entrepreneurs. Catering to the real estate world and beyond. So, and with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and launch into our episode. We drop these often, and I'm excited. We have Yvonne Feedy in the house. How you doing, Yvonne?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm excited for this conversation and this interview because her business and model is something that I haven't seen in the real estate market, and I've seen a lot. Okay, pushing 10 years working with a bunch of different businesses. So I promise you, there's going to be a lot of jam-packed value in the next few minutes of our conversation. All right, Yvonne, by the way, so she bought the Houston iTrip is the name of the company franchise, and recently new in the game, and there's 120 markets, franchise owners around the country, and so we'll get into that in a second. She's from St. Thomas, came over here when she was 5, got a beautiful family, twins. Always wanted twins. Okay, she's got a boy and a girl. They're 11 years old, and we're excited to have you. So in Air Force for 9 years, by the way, before. So transportation business before current business, and then 9 years in the Air Force prior to that. So how'd you get in the Air Force? Would you tell me about that starting out? Did you get recruited, or did you always want to do that?
No, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And so I sort of researched how do astronauts get to that position.
Yeah.
And just sort of made a plan and was checking boxes. And if you look at the background of most astronauts, they've been in the military, they've studied engineering.
Okay.
So I did those things. I joined the Air Force. I got my bachelor's in aerospace engineering.
Very nice.
And I ended up in the Air Force, and it was awesome. And I actually got to spend 4 years, my last 4 years in the Air Force. I was stationed here at the Johnson Space Center.
Really?
There's a unit there that flies Department of Defense experiments on the space station, and at the time when it was still flying the space shuttle. And so I was working in that unit, and so I didn't actually realize my dream of being an astronaut, but I did get to actually, rub shoulders with them, and it was incredible and awesome.
That's exciting. You were super close. I mean, you're in it, you know, like you're in the right place for all of that. That had to have been pretty satisfying. So.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had a blast.
So what city did you join the Air Force from? Because you landed here last 4 years in NASA, but...
Yeah, my very first assignment in the Air Force, I was actually in Philadelphia, of all places.
Okay.
I had a special assignment where they take brand new second lieutenants and put you in an ROTC unit, and you do recruiting in high schools for ROTC scholarships. So I did that out of St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia for just a year.
Okay.
And then I got into my actual space-related career field, and I went out to California for 4 years. And
Which part of California?
There's an Air Force base there called Vandenberg Air Force Base. It's about 3 hours north of LA.
Gotcha.
And I was doing, different R&D for missile and rocket systems out there.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I would like to spend the whole time talking to you about that. All right, and then super cool. So, what do your kids want to do? The Air Force? Did they ask you questions, stories yet?
No, they're not showing much interest in that as of yet. My daughter keeps talking about wanting to be an EMT. She's really excited about working on ambulances and helping people. And my son has talked about lots of different things. The most recent, I think, was a marine biologist. So.
Gotcha. Well, A&M, they got a good program down there.
Yeah, I told him that.
That is awesome. All right, so what's next? I want to go into the, the value that what your industry does. Talk a little bit about iTrip, and then we'll kind of see where the conversation goes.
Sure. So iTrip is a franchise system, and what we do is short-term rental property management. And it's full service management, so we do everything soup to nuts that would allow the homeowner who has put their secondary home on the short-term market to allow them to be completely hands-off. So we handle everything from marketing and listing the property, all of the guest relations, communicating with the guests both before and during the stay. We handle maintenance issues that come up. We handle cleaning the property and inspecting it after every stay, collecting the booking revenue, remitting the taxes to the proper taxing authorities, the whole 9 yards.
That's awesome. So, I mean, why, a property management company versus just, doing it themselves? I mean, obviously there's the convenience factor with everything you just said, but
Right.
at the same time, because I've done both, I'm like, I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it,
Yeah. Well, there's lots of different reasons. Some folks, they have a full-time job, and you might start off doing managing your own property as sort of a side hustle. But if you acquire more properties or really want to get serious about it, there's probably going to come a point where you can't handle it yourself. So there's that, and there's also the fact that the short-term rental market as a whole is just professionalizing. We are
True.
beyond the point of just being able to throw anything up on Airbnb and expecting to be able to make money, because there's more competition now.
It's intense.
The market has a lot more supply available. And so you have to really stand out in order to get those guests. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that you're running a professional organization or operation, and having a professional property manager helping you with that can get you to that point.
With the short term, I guess competition of VRBO and Airbnb and I guess individuals. I mean, who else is there? What are you seeing in that realm?
In terms of where you can find properties to book?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. There's dozens of them, literally dozens of them at this point. There's obviously the big ones that everyone's heard of: Airbnb, sure. Vrbo, you mentioned, HomeAway, TripAdvisor, FlipKey, Booking.com, iTrip. Our company, we have our own site where you can go and book direct on iTrip.net. You can book properties all across the country. We're in 120 different markets across the U.S. and Canada. And you can book on iTrip.net, and one of the advantages of that is that you don't pay the additional booking fees that Airbnb and Vrbo and those types add on to your booking. But like I said, there's dozens and dozens of sites out there, and one of the advantages of using a company like iTrip is we have integrations and partnerships with dozens of them. And so we can put your listing out there and it gets distributed to all of these different sites. So for someone who is potentially trying to do it on their own,
right,
you might have your listing up on Airbnb and VRBO and maybe one or two others. But if you're trying to do it yourself, once you get past a handful, it gets challenging. But with our system, we're able to, because of those integrations, we're able to blast it out and it goes to all those different sites. And the calendars are integrated so that you don't have the potential for accidental double bookings. If someone goes on Airbnb and books your property for this set of dates, those dates are automatically blocked on the calendars of all of the other sites that we have your property listed on.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Good deal. So how many properties is your territory managing currently?
Well, I think you might have mentioned that I'm a brand new franchise owner. I just purchased the central Houston area. So I am in the process of building up my portfolio. I've got several in the pipeline right now that I'm hoping are going to come on board literally any day now. But we also have other franchise owners in the Houston region. We have an owner who's up in the Woodlands area. We have one down in Galveston, and we have several other franchise owners across Texas as well.
Inside Beltway, where are we at here?
So my territory specifically is it's essentially the western half of the inner loop. So anything that's inside 610 and west of the 288-45 corridor. So it's very central Houston, and it's fairly small geographically, but it's very dense
rich
with short-term rentals and with the areas where people really want to be.
Right. And so and we were talking kind of before the show, like how you're able to you're helping well, the realtors, right? Your clients with their consumers, like, and so what are some of the advantages of maybe like helping them get property to move, or helping the consumer if they're stuck or not moving, because that's usually one of the bigger problems. I mean, I've had a handful of those conversations recently where it's just like, okay, well, the market, it's slowed down right now. I don't want to bug them. Like, I mean, I don't want to rush these people, but it's going to be a while, and they're just, they're not super motivated to do either one,
Right.
buy or sell.
Right.
So they're just kind of dragging their feet. But, this is a value add, okay? Any realtors listening out there, that you want to be able to, what do you call, and how do you follow up and touch base, and check on them. So talk about that for a minute, because this might be, something that could be very helpful for both parties, right? The consumer and for the agent.
Right. So if you have, like you mentioned, a client, or a realtor has a client and they have a home and it's been sitting on the market for a while and for whatever reason not moving, you may consider talking to them about whether they would want to put it on the short-term rental market. One of the things that I can do for a realtor who may be in that situation with a client is I can put together pro formas, basically short-term rental income projections, so that you can present that to your client so that they could understand what they could potentially get for that home on the short-term rental market. So, rather than have the client just continue to have that home sit on the market and not do anything, talking to them about making it a short-term rental gives them the opportunity to potentially bring some money in while they're waiting for it to sell. And then on the other side of the equation, if you're working with a client who is looking to buy and specifically wants to get an investment property and potentially put it on the short-term rental market, again, we can do the pro formas, the income projections. That's completely free of charge to help you potentially close that sale once they understand what they can get for a particular property.
I love that, because realtors are, comps, selling, presenting, its value, it's there, who can provide, the best level of that. And to me, I think it's an additional bonus, free value add that your company is doing on the house for them 100%. To obviously, that's a partnership right there. I mean, that's full on support and then to be able to go to people. I can see people moving on that all day long, because you don't know what you don't know, and if it's like, well, this is a really solid option. It's like, okay, sign me up. I mean, I can see that happening quite a bit.
Right. And then it goes further than that. If you have a client who purchases an investment property after the sale is closed, at that point, if they are looking for property management services and the realtor is able to refer them to me for those services, then the realtor becomes the referring agent. And at that point, they get a 2% ongoing referral bonus for the life of the property management contract on the gross booking revenue that comes in from all of the guest rentals that come in for that property.
That is huge. Ton of value. That was, in our first conversations, that's one of the reasons I got excited about what she's doing and the value that she's bringing to the market. That is disrupting for sure in a very good way. So real quick, if anybody has any questions for you, tell them please how they can get a hold of you.
Sure. So you can go to either itrip.net/HCW, which stands for Houston Central West, or you can give me a call at 713-996-9060, or email me at hcw@itrip.net.
And on the incentives, because that was powerful and extensive. At the same time, if you wouldn't mind, talk a little bit about what I guess the ideal partnership would look like, other than someone just coming to you for, I guess like the numbers, right, of what the rental income, the short-term rental
well,
income
there is actually more to the incentive than just the referral bonus.
Let's go. Yeah,
right.
What do we got? People love it.
So it's not just about the realtor referring business to me. It's about me being able to refer business back to the realtor. So for that property that the realtor would be getting the referral bonus, what we're also going to do is we're going to put their marketing material in the property itself.
Okay.
So whatever they'd like to leave there, brochures, business cards, etc. So every rental guest that comes through will see their marketing material. And then for the property listing on our site, itrip.net, when guests go there to book, will also have a banner ad that mentions the realtor and has a link to their website, their email address, and says, something like, if you're interested in purchasing a property similar to this, reach out to so and so.
Yeah.
So trying to make it a mutually beneficial relationship and passing back business back and forth.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I think everybody's looking for more of that, especially with the market slowing down a little bit. That's a positive tool for your toolkit. So when it comes to some of the, maybe I guess the struggles, because like you said, you haven't been in it for a super long time, right? So I mean, there's ups and downs. It's not a cakewalk all the time. What are I guess some of the struggles that you've had so far? What have you done so far to get over them?
Well, just the typical struggles I think of a brand new business owner is trying to get things up and running off the ground, and it's to be expected. I've talked to other iTrip franchise owners who've been doing it a lot longer than me, and they all pretty much say the same thing, which is that it's a little slow going in the beginning,
right?
Trying to get that momentum rolling, but then once you do, it's like a freight train. So my biggest struggle right now is just wanting to get to the freight train stage as fast as I can.
I know. Yeah.
So just trying to meet people and make connections and see how we can help each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It's perpetual motivation. It's a real thing, and all of us are guilty of wanting instant gratification. But sometimes you have to. There's no cop outs. There's no shortcuts. I mean, you got to work. You got to put in, and so. Respect. So I think you'll go far. You have a good product. I believe in it. That's why we're having this conversation, and I'm excited to watch you thrive in your territory here in Houston. Got a great market here, and looking forward to seeing it. What about some personal setbacks and struggles? Because it's not all business all the time, right? Okay, you got twins that are 11, right? Respect. My kids are similar age, but give me an example of personal tough situation and how you got over that.
Well, anybody who has kids our age can relate to what life is like right now. I mean, when I'm not working, I feel like I'm a chauffeur most of the time, shuttling them all over the place to activities. You and I were chatting about sports, and my daughter's playing softball, my son plays baseball. So yeah, it's just the personal struggle is business owner and single mother and balancing the two. That's the biggest struggle in my life right now, personally.
Yeah. Respect. So I mean, sometimes I'll say if it's a problem, it's like, well, just if you stay busy, you don't have time to focus on the problem. But like in our situation, if being busy is kind of the problem, it's like, well, how do you slow that down?
Yeah.
If you can't.
You can't. It's just life. It's your life right now.
Yeah. I think the answer there is to make sure that with all the busyness, making sure a couple things, that you're happy all the time, being 100% present in what you're doing, because like we got to switch gears a lot, right? Pivot on a dime sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's but if we're here, and I can't stop thinking about whatever I got on the personal front, well then that's not doing this, what we're doing, our conversation, the value that we're trying to create. So anyway.
Well, it's like you alluded to, but we were talking before. In the grand scheme of things, this time that we get right now with our kids, it's a short time. It's like the saying they say that the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
It feels like it's flying by. So yeah, it's tough, but you're trying to live in the moment and enjoy it, because before you know it, they'll be gone and it's over.
They'll be gone. I know. Like I think about it all the time. Like tired, kids are doing whatever in the house, and I'm just like, these little guys are gonna just that they're gonna be gone, and then I'm gonna be like, oh man, that day that I was tired and they were going ham, and now I wish they were back. So all right, so you like to travel. Heard you talk about that. What
I love to travel.
What's your where do you like to, where do you like to go? You go back to St. Thomas?
Oh, I haven't been to St. Thomas since I think 2009. So, and my kids have not been, so that's definitely on the list. I got to get them down there so they can see where we really come from. But we love to travel and just experiencing new places. And I really love outdoor stuff, hiking and things like that. And so whenever we travel, if there is a national park within a day's drive of where we're going, then we're going to go.
Done happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went to Mammoth Cave National Park this past summer because we were traveling to St. Louis. So Kentucky was about a 5-hour drive.
Gotcha.
And a couple summers ago, we went to Zion National Park and Bryce Canyon, and just love that stuff.
Gotcha. I'm sure you've had a lot of beach type summer vacation spots. What would you say is the nicest, prettiest, most comparable to St. Thomas?
Oh, comparable to St. Thomas? I mean, only other places in the Caribbean. You know, I mean, the water down there, you've never seen water that blue in your life. You know, and I haven't seen it any place other than maybe Antigua, other places in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, coming from a Caribbean island, I'm not really much of a beach person.
Okay.
And my kids aren't either. Like I said, we like to be out, hiking and things like that. So I would probably take a mountain vacation over a beach vacation.
Gotcha. All right. So dream vacay, like what would be your next spot?
My bucket list, I want to go to Australia.
It's on my bucket list too.
Yeah. Australia and Japan are probably my two biggest bucket lists.
Yeah.
Oh, and Costa Rica. I want to go to Costa Rica.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not too far. It's hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's your favorite book you ever read?
Favorite book?
Or book you read now? Maybe it's not your favorite, but just a good one.
Yeah, you know what? I have probably 6 or 7 books on my nightstand that I intend to read, but I haven't yet. But one of the books that's on,
do.
Yeah, one of the books that's on my nightstand, I haven't started yet, but somebody I know recently said, "Man, this book is awesome," so I need to pick it up. It's Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you read it?
I have. Yes.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that one.
Yeah. So that's gonna be my next one.
Gotcha. What's your favorite product or brand that you can't live without?
Whoa.
I know. Rapid fire. Got a couple of just
off guard with that.
Zinger questions for you.
Yeah. Can you give me like in a space?
In life, okay.
In
business,
life.
Personal, doesn't matter. Shoes, I don't know. Like sunglasses, car.
We've heard makeup in the past. We've heard iPhone a lot. We hear somebody said a fishing brand once.
Yeah.
But yeah, typically we hear iPhone more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm not an iPhone person. Gosh, man, you really.
We'll come to that.
All right.
Favorite restaurant.
Favorite restaurant.
Or favorite type of food.
I love Vietnamese food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I do too. What about music? Favorite band, artist, musical genre?
Yeah, I love just about anything. I'm not too much into country, not too much into like heavy metal, but just about anything else I love. One of my favorite artists is Pink.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember growing up high school, my younger sister was obsessed. So I had like no choice but to listen and endure a lot of Pink. And I became a fan. Like she actually has really good music, you know. So can't knock Pink for she a hell of a performer.
Yeah.
She does a really good job.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. What else? Favorite product or brand?
You know, I'm gonna think of something the second I walk out the door. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, one more tough one.
Well, I'll say this. I like going to REI. You know the store REI.
Sure. That makes sense. That's right up your alley with the hiking.
Yeah. So just walking around, just looking at all the stuff that
is a cool store.
Yeah.
I've had a lot. It's one of the stores that never really bought much because none of it really made sense for my day to day.
Yeah.
But it was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
If I was in that situation, I'm like, I've never even done that in my life, but I want to just because it's on the shelf, you know.
Totally.
It's good stuff. What's the best life advice you ever got, and who gave it to you?
Well, gosh, that's a hard one too. I won't say that anybody personally gave this to me. It's just something that I've heard. And I want to say that maybe Oprah said that Maya Angelou had told it to her, I think. But the adage that when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Okay.
And not to say that in a negative sort of way.
That's good.
But just, you have to know, the person that you're dealing with, and
Sure.
if someone shows you who they are, believe them, and don't think that you're going to be able to change them, or that people show their true colors, so just pay attention to it.
I love it. That makes a lot of sense. I thought for a second, that was deep. I thought for a second you were going to go something military, Air Force related, because you got your core values, I'm sure. There were 9 years of your life, so respect, appreciate, the service. Thank you for doing 9 years in the Air Force.
Thank you.
I was this close to joining, by the way. I didn't tell you that, but I was.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, one more time for everybody. Please tell them how they can get a hold of you. Reach out to Yvonne.
Okay. Give me a call, 713-996-9060. Email at hcw@itrip.net or go to itrip.net/hcw.
7 locations that take care of Greater Houston. She's got her niche. She's got her area. What do the area again one more time for anybody that's maybe
Inside
checking
the
sport out?
610 loop and west of the 288 and 45 corridor.
It's a good thing to build a team to provide value and service for your clients. So holler at Yvonne. All right. So thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it very much. Disruption Nation, we drop them all the time. Again, if you got any value, like, subscribe, hit the share button. We appreciate that. If you or a business that is up and coming or wants to be in Disruption Nation or a part of our community, we have private events with some of the best vendors and realtors in Greater Houston. And I love the collaboration. I love watching people do business with one another, and we like-minded people, and heavily promote business being done within our community. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time. So reach out to me, send me a DM on any social platform, and we will be in touch. So be great. We'll see you next time.